Hello and welcome back to the podcast, Music Weapon of the Future. My name is Lindsay Charles and thank you for tuning in to episode number 4. In this episode, I have a conversation with John Bodapati. John is a bass player, songwriter, MD, and an interior designer, and he has his own firm in Hyderabad. He's been playing bass live and in sessions since 2017, and he's associated with many bands and playback singers on a national level. He also designs houses out of love and passion. And without further ado,
Hi
thank you
guys,
for coming.
thank you for having
How's
me.
it? Yeah, how's it going? That's a nice, really cool jacket. You got the,
Thank you.
yeah,
Nice t-shirt.
thank you. Yeah, so this podcast was, as I told you, on a motivation of knowing musicians better and to see how or what the essence is of musicians here in Hyderabad and all over the world, hopefully.
Hmm.
So, what are your origins, John? Or how did you
Origins.
start
So
your music journey?
basically, I started off. Actually, I shouldn't mention this Anna's name. His name is Victor. Unfortunately, I don't know his last name. So it was in 2011.
Hmm.
Um, so there was this church where I go to. It's called Wesley Church Ramkot, and um, I think what was it? King Koti, I guess. King Koti.
Nicotine.
So basically,
Yeah, yeah.
Ramkot.
Yeah.
It's a very famous Ramkot church. So there was this youth meeting that was going on,
Mhm.
and that Anna came up to me one day, and he was like, "The worship team is not coming. What to do? Can you play guitar?" I said, "Yeah, I can play guitar, but I don't know the songs. I don't know anything. I just
Mhm.
know how to play. I used to play back when I was in seventh grade, which is maybe 2006 or 7 if I'm not wrong. So I said, I don't know much, Anna. If you want me, I can try.
Mm.
So he said, okay, you do one thing. From next Saturday, Saturdays we have the youth meeting. You come off, you get your guitar, you play here. It's a small fellowship, anyways.
Mm.
So we all can worship together. So then I was like, okay, fine. I was really excited. And I took my guitar, went there. I played for a couple of years actually.
Mhm.
Then in 2014, uh, I guess 2013 or 14. So, my brother-in-law now, Sunny Daniel. Before he married my sister,
Mhm.
so he knew me just as an acoustic guitar player or
Mhm.
just a basic beginner musician,
Mm.
and he said he had a requirement for a bass guitarist.
Okay, this was 2014, you said.
2013, 14.
13, 14, okay.
13, 14. So I didn't know what for what it was.
Yeah.
He just knew that I had a guitar, and by then I already bought a electric guitar.
Okay, by then
First,
you were already
first
playing,
I
practicing.
went to
Yeah.
Music Palace here in Secunderabad, and then I bought a nice Ibanez guitar.
Mhm.
But then I wasn't satisfied with it. Then I took my dad again to the shop. I said, "We'll return this. We'll take that big guitar." So what guitar that was? It was a Dean Thunderbolt.
Oh.
Nice, like the V shape.
Yeah.
So that had my heart. And
It's a very cool looking guitar.
yeah, it's a very,
Yeah.
very good guitar, good tone also.
Yeah.
I didn't know that it was a good guitar
Mm.
then. I just liked the shape of it. I didn't even know what the sound was. So I just went and bought it. And then he knew that Sunny Daniel knew that it was a good guitar.
Mm.
I didn't know. So he thought that maybe I can manage playing bass, but I didn't know anything. I just know the basics, root chords. I mean root notes. So then he said, "Okay, we have a jam on so and so date. These are the songs. Come prepared." And he said one thing: whatever you play, write it down, make a note of it. Don't just wing it. Be prepared and come. Uh, these are big musicians that we're going to play with.
Hmm.
And I was like, oh, that's a good piece of advice. Then, ever since till today, I still carry the
Yeah.
same. Wherever I go, I write my notes down or I be prepared.
So that it's that piece of advice stuck with you
Yeah,
all those
yeah,
years.
it stuck with me. So then we played. There was this church. I think I don't know. I don't remember the name of the church, but it was here somewhere in Maritpalli only.
Hmm.
They had a nice big speakers in a very maybe 200 300 capacity hall. They had
Okay.
like nice PA system,
Yeah.
and we were jamming in that PA system, and it was like so good. The first time I didn't even have a bass guitar,
Yeah.
so there's this guitarist called Keith D Rosario.
Mm-hmm.
So he had a nice Fernandez bass,
Okay.
and he gave it to me for the gig, and that was the first ever bass guitar that I played.
Okay.
Yeah, I played Gibson though.
Yeah. Yeah.
Gibson.
So you have experience with
Yeah,
Gibsons.
Gibson bass guitar. I'm sure you know
Yeah,
it.
of course. One of the classic Indian makes.
So yeah, it started off like that, and apparently that concert was for Planet Shakers. So
Wow.
Planet Shakers was coming to Hyderabad.
Wow. So you got to open for them?
No, they got open for us.
Oh, that's big,
Yeah,
very
so
big stage.
basically we had to play before them, but the logistics went really bad
So they
that day.
played.
They played first, and they were like, "You guys do whatever you want." And then we played later on. But then, oh God, the sound!
Yeah.
I fell in love with it.
Wow, that's a big achievement to play after Planet
Yeah,
Shakers.
yeah, because back in Inter 2011,
Mm.
that was my Inter first year. I used to sit in the back of the class
Mm-hmm.
and draw the layout of a stage
Mm.
and where I'll be standing, how the lights are going to point out. So I am a huge dreamer.
Okay.
A lot of people don't know about that. I mean, don't know that part about me.
So you're like a visionary who sees
Yeah,
things beforehand and tries to execute them exactly as you planned.
yeah, probably.
I think I can share that with you
Hmm.
because even in my head there are so many things that needs to be so specific,
Hmm.
and then when you do them, there's some kind of satisfaction you get.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
totally. I understand that. But going back to even more before the time you said you started playing guitar,
Hmm.
were there any musical influences that you had in your life, in the sense of like bands or
Hmm.
you told me Planet Shakers also maybe might have been one of your the bands that you
Hmm.
looked up to. Are there any artists that you in the starting periods of your music life?
So basically, I come from a very non-musical background.
Hmm.
My mom sings a bit, but she's a normal how a church going person will sing, just like that. But she had a really sweet voice.
Hmm.
I love that. Like whenever she used to sing for me, I used to love it. So, and I used to try to catch the note of what she was singing.
Okay.
This was like very back in the day. I was maybe third or fourth class going guy, I guess, if I'm not wrong. So then my mom thought I should go to a music class
Hmm.
because her family had a lot of musicians, her side of
Okay.
family. So her first and second cousins, they were good musicians. Even today, so I have a uncle, so my mom's cousin. So he is a really good singer. You know SP Balasubramaniam?
Yeah, of course.
He sounds just like that.
Wow.
Not even kidding, no
Mhm.
exaggeration at
Mhm.
all. He sounds just like that.
He's one of the legendary singers.
He and his wife. Uh, so his name is. He's a pastor though. He runs a church, Shalom International Discipleship Church.
Okay.
So his name is Giddy Anil Kiran.
Anil Kiran. Okay.
Yeah, his wife's name is Shailaja. Shailaja Kiran.
So they were also an
Yeah.
influence on your
So my mom had, I mean, she knew a
connection with them.
little
Yeah.
bit music through them or through her cousins, but I never had any kind of exposure or anything. So it was in 9th or 10th class that whenever my church thing started, as in when that Anna said that you
To come up
should,
and play.
yeah, that was the first time that I ever played. But even before that,
Mm-hmm.
like I was saying, in third or fourth class, my mom thought I should join a keyboard class. Then whoever was teaching me, he was like, he has a very good ear. You should train him more. Then somehow that class was skipped, and when I was in eighth class, I guess seventh or eighth class, which is 2007, 8, if I'm not wrong, around that period. So I wanted to take guitar classes. Then my mom and dad called somebody home to tutor me, and he the first thing he said, "Okay, let's see what is your taste, or how well do you know, or how well you don't know.
Mm-hmm.
So sing a song for me," he said. So he wanted me to sing any song that I knew. So I started singing one Telugu hymn. He stopped me in the second line. He said, "Oh, it's okay, you don't sing. You ask your mom or somebody to sing and you try to play with them." So, yeah. And soon that class also ended in 1 or 2 weeks. But the basics that sir gave me, he actually drew a guitar drawing for me, and he named the notes
Okay.
E, A, D, G, and what are the frets, how many frets. There was this like 100 pages small size book.
Yeah.
He had all the drawings and he wrote everything for me.
Mm-hmm.
And actually, in a way, that kind of stuck with me again. So now whoever I teach or whoever I give some advice to, I just send them a screenshot of my notes.
Yeah.
That is
Yeah.
all. That is all.
How much that has affected you, you want to also impart the same thing.
Yeah. So that is how it actually started. But I never really had any kind of major influences as such.
Okay. Yeah, that's a interesting journey because you're from a singing perspective. you, you said you're not so well versed, but from a listening perspective, you had a very good ear.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. I want to talk about like how you said your mother was a part of your journey through music. And do you think, parents or family or the friends around, they provide a really good support system to go ahead in your musical career? Do you think that plays a really big role, or it's not so much, it's more on yourself?
So, firstly, I'm a guy who's like, it's all you. You have to do it. Nobody's going to spoon feed you or help you. But having said that, support from the parents is a lot. That will give you a huge boost, especially from your friends. That also gives you a huge boost. So, my wife, before our marriage, we were dating for a really long time. So, whatever piece I used to practice, I used to make her listen. And she used to be brutal with me. She's like, I think something's not right. She didn't know music, but she's like, I think something's not right. Or maybe, I don't know. That itself was a
different perspective.
That itself was a lot for me because I knew exactly what she meant. And I have a friend. His name is Nitin. So I told I in inter I used to go back in the class and draw.
Sketch, yeah.
So that guy used to sit next to me and draw cars. He's a car and a bike guy. So basically, he loves it. He loves driving. He's a rider basically.
Okay.
He used to ride also for a club.
Wow.
And he used to draw that. But he was like, what are you drawing? I said, this is the stage. This is where I want to stand. This is the crowd that I want to play for. And ever since, he has been my number one.
Wow.
Like
Like a good
like
friend, like a
yeah,
support.
he is my A guy. Like even if I'm playing a solo gig, I'm sure he'll be there. So he is like the biggest support that
Yeah,
guy.
those kind of roles plays a big thing in our lives, I think.
Yeah. But also for people who don't have that,
Yeah.
I'd say it's a little bit of disadvantage.
Yeah.
But then again, it's all you. They will just give you that boost that you need.
Yeah.
But if you want to go ahead, it's all you.
Yeah. It's like how these coaches say, it's like, I can't do the push-ups for you.
Exactly.
I can only show you how to do it.
Exactly.
Like if you don't do it, you won't be able to step further, right? Yeah, that's correct. But I want to also talk about in the Hyderabad scene. You said you've been in the as a bass player or as a musician for about 8 years now, maybe over 8 years.
Yeah.
What are the difficulties and challenges that you faced through the early years? Because Hyderabad is not such a big scene, or hasn't been such a big scene in the previous years. It has caught up quite slowly, and through the years, many bands. And I was talking to somebody yesterday, and I think 2 days ago. I don't know if it's true, the numbers, but I heard that now Hyderabad has at least, or ranging from 600 to 800 bands.
Wow.
I was so surprised. Let's say that number is really big, exaggerated, and let's take it half. Like even 300 to 400 bands is quite a big number for this scene.
Yeah.
So yeah, like what are the challenges or difficulties that you had in your in the Hyderabad scene?
So basically, for those of you who don't know, I play bass for multiple bands. My primary band is Kalyan Project. We play Bollywood and regional now due to
The scene.
the scene. Yeah, we also do a good English set also.
Yeah.
And
by the way, I've been to their show, and they are really, really good. And I would really tell you guys to go and watch them. Very, very good performance.
Yeah. Thank you for that plug-in. Yeah. So earlier days, actually, I didn't choose to be, a bass guitarist in the first place. So that was in 2014. I played my first ever gig with a bass. That's it. After that, I didn't play bass. Then in 2016 or 17, if I'm not wrong, or 18, I can't really remember. I think it's 17 or 18. No. Oh, shoot. I'm just realizing I'm so old.
Inevitable.
So in 2016, so I had this confidence that I played bass and good bass in 2014 itself for such a big stage and for such a huge crowd. I'm not sure how many people were actually actively listening to the bass, but then I was listening to myself and I sounded really nice then. I mean, at least for the earlier, whatever beginner level, for my ears, it sounded good. So I had that confidence in me and I tried doing music. Actually, after that, I was going to this college, engineering college, Geetam. And I was stuck there for 4 years.
So wait, I have to ask you, what did you study, or what's your background in your profession?
Okay.
Because you, I think, if I'm not wrong, you also have a day job.
Yeah. So basically, I studied MPC and then I took engineering in computer science. I finished it in 4 years. And after that, I did some job for 1 year. After that, I took a break. I wanted to pursue interior designing.
Okay.
So when I was in engineering third year, I had this huge calling for lights and interiors and the woodworks. So then I prayed a lot. And I was going through this Bible study then. It's called Passion. Yeah, it's called Passion Driven. So I was really invested in pursuing that. Then I told my mom, and she said, "You're in third year now. Finish this.
Yeah.
Now you can't go anywhere.
Yeah.
We've already paid the fees. Might as well finish it. Then do whatever you want. Do job. Then see if you like it. Okay." My mom is very supportive that way, and so is my dad.
Mm-hmm.
But he is a little concerned. But my mom, my sisters, I have two sisters.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody is very, very, very supportive. And after that, I finished working at some company for 1 year, and then uh, I wanted to. By then, I was already 23, I guess, 22, 23,
Okay.
23, if I'm not wrong. 22, if I'm, yeah, 22. So I was like, it's already late for me to start a new journey altogether again. And so basically, I run, like, for those who know me, you know how I run my life on time. So I have schedules, I have checklist, I have
Very organized.
milestones. Yeah, for everything. Even if you if you ask me what I'm doing 6 months down the line, I have an answer for that.
Wow.
So,
But you know what?
mhm.
I don't know if people how people will react, but it's so rare to see that in Hyderabad. It's so rare, and it's actually a really good thing. So I appreciate that.
Yeah, I'm not very punctual though. I have to accept that, my whoever audience is. Yeah, you know me. I'm not very punctual, but I'm not way too late also.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm compared to Hyderabad times, I'm good. Yeah, so I was like, this is too late for me. What I wanted to achieve. Then I was praying and I was going through that Bible study.
Mm-hmm.
So I was praying and asking for discernment, understanding. Is it really what you want me to do, Lord? Or is it something that I just want to do out of my kick? And I was praying and I was like, this is too late for me. I can't take any risk. I am scared of taking huge risks because I don't want to be a failure. Like nobody would want to, but that
I
thing
understand.
kept me on my toes. It was like no, and I kept praying. So it was a 7-day Bible study, and I was praying that if you want me to do, and also one more thing, whoever is listening to, not sure that if this process will work out for you, but see for yourself what will work out. So for my part, I was praying that if you want me to pursue this,
Yeah.
please let me know and show me somewhere in the Bible study, as in it's not a particular chapter wise Bible study, so it's a topic wise, so the references can go anywhere. So I was asking for God to show me about Noah's Ark, where he builds the ark, the dimensions with the dimensions, and everything is mentioned. So I was asking God to show me that. And on the seventh day, and I was praying, and the very next day, I have to pay the uh, booking money
Mm.
to get into the course. Otherwise, I'll have to wait another year.
That's when the interior design.
Yeah, for interior designing. So I said, God, please help me. And I was praying like really, really bad. I was in tears. I was like on my knees fasting and I was praying. And I said, God, if this is what you want me to do,
Mm.
just let me know. And I kept praying. And till the seventh day, there was this last 7-8 lines left in the end. And like Noah's Ark wasn't there anywhere. I was like so disheartened. Like I was like, in this last 7-8 lines, what will be there? And I kept reading and just reading through,
Yeah.
and the last 7-8 lines were completely filled with this Noah's Ark, where he obeys God and how he even though people were telling him not to do it,
Mm.
he kept doing it. And I was like such a huge. That was such a huge relief for me, and I said yes. This is what you want me to do. And also, the reason why I wanted to do interiors is one thing is because I loved the lights, like the basically the interiors. I loved it. Something like pulls me, draws me to it. But then the other thing is, if you have a house with good interiors, you will once you enter the house, you will find that certain peace. Oh yeah, my house is good. I
Yeah.
like my house because that is the place where you rest
Exactly.
after a long day.
Yeah.
But having peace in the house doesn't just come with interiors, but it adds up. Definitely, it adds up. So that was the deal for me.
Yeah.
So, and then I did interior, and whoever counseled me for that course in the college itself, I said, I want to do it properly. So, should I take a 2-year course or 1-year course? And she had a brief exam for me. By then, I already used to read this Reader Digest magazines.
Okay.
It's called Architectural Digest. So I used to get monthly packs of it. I used to read everything. I used to go through the designers, how the color palettes are working.
Yeah.
So my sister also did fashion designing, my first sister.
Okay.
And and her color combinations and all, I used to look at those. Then somehow that also kind of added up and helped me. So then the counselor kept a brief exam for me, and I wrote that it was a 10 questioner thing. I wrote it, and she was like, "You don't need 2 years, do 1 year. That's enough. you are pretty good. We just teach the same thing,
Yeah.
1 year or 2 years."
So you had like a previous already
Yeah.
built thing. Yeah.
She also gave me a disclaimer that they will not teach you a lot of things. So it is just going to be very basic. But whatever you do, follow your lecturers, because lecturers also, huge shout outs to Jansi ma'am. She helped me a lot.
Yeah.
When I didn't get my head into it, she used to uh, call me. She used to help me out. She did a very big favor for me. And now she's into art department.
Oh.
So that is good for her. And yeah, that is how I did interiors. And then
So this is your day job.
yeah,
career.
this is my day job. I worked for 2 companies. Now I started my own. Actually, I started my own in 2020 itself. Yeah.
So if anybody's listening and you want to get a code on interior design,
Yeah.
you know
Whitefish.
who to- it's called Whitefish.
Yeah, it's
shout
called
out to
Whitefish.
Whoever wants to get a code, please contact John. Yeah, but that's quite interesting because when I was looking at your gear or bass or even the system you have, the setup you
Yeah.
have, there's some aspect of design in it, and now I see why it's such a like a what do you call organized way.
Yeah.
It's structured, and I really like it.
Yeah.
I think musicians should definitely have and work on that more. Yeah. Yeah, but coming back to, you said you the Geetam and the challenges of the Hyderabad scene.
Yeah, right. So, like I told, I already played that gig, and I had that confidence in me that I can play. I can play. That is a little confidence that I had. So we had this college fest, and me and some of my friends from the college, and huge shout outs to Ashrita and Akhil and Vamshi. They were my band.
Oh, yeah,
And
during the college.
we had 2 or maybe 3-4 bands in the college.
Yeah.
And we didn't like anybody's music much. Sorry if you guys are listening. But back then, it is what it is.
Yeah.
We didn't like it. So we actually named our band called, are you ready for it?
Sure.
The
Let's
Actual Band.
The actual band.
So we named ourselves TAB, The Actual
The
Band.
actual band.
And we also did a few tracks also.
Oh, is it? Is
So
out
it
on
was a
Spotify?
acoustic rap band. So I
Ooh.
played bass, and my friend Akhil was playing guitar, and she was rapping, and Ashrita, she's a classically trained singer,
Yeah.
back then, like in 2014, 15,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, 2015 itself, she was 11 years ongoing training of classical music.
Oh, wow. Interesting.
Yeah, she and her sister are famously known as Skandagiri sisters.
Okay.
So there's this temple in Secunderabad, Skandagiri temple, and she was trained under then the Hyderabad sisters.
The
So
Hyderabad sisters.
yeah,
Oh, that's a big
and they
tag.
they were a big deal.
Yeah.
Yeah, and listening to her or talking to her, the way she used to sing was really good, but the music choices she had was like very questionable. she she used to listen to all this like Bruno Mars.
Oh.
She had that groove going on, and she listened to Katy Perry, all this pop stuff. Also, she used to listen to classical also. Then we all started jamming, and then we did a gig at college itself.
Mm-hmm.
So that also gave me a huge boost. And challenges, as in, I never really had any challenges, to be very honest. After that, I never played bass. So in just my Facebook, I posted one or two pictures of me playing bass.
Yeah.
That is all. Uh, then after that, I started playing bass for another band called Gravity 11.
Okay.
Yeah. So
This was
who
rock
like
or
who's a current singer Kalyan and a current guitarist Richard, and there's another drummer. So three of them were already there in the
Okay.
band. They needed a guitarist, the bass guitarist,
Yeah.
and my brother-in-law again, my godfather.
That's nice.
Yeah, he's my godfather. So he suggested me to them. That he was already friends with all these guys,
Okay.
and he said, "Why don't you try him?" So then I went, I played, they liked it. Then they were like, "Okay, let's form a band." And we started off our journey like that. The only challenge was, uh, actually, it's a different kind of challenge than anybody else faces, I should say. Um, so my biggest challenge was I want everything to be right.
The designer mode. The
Yeah,
organist, yeah.
I want everything to sound right. I want the frequencies to be good. Back then, to be honest, I was a very, very, very basic bass guitarist.
Hmm.
But still,
What bass were you using then?
it was Yamaha. I don't know the model number.
Okay.
Again, it was borrowed from one of Sunny Daniel's friend.
Okay.
So yeah, it was a Yamaha bass. I think it's 135 or something. I don't remember the model number, but the standard bass guitar. So he let me use it for like good 2 years. Yeah, he's like, don't bother, you just use it how much ever you want to. Then I kept using. I didn't even know what bass it was. Was it active or a passive? What are the tone knobs?
Yeah.
When I first started. So then eventually I started figuring out like what is this and all. So the huge challenge for me was I want everything to be right even from the first gig. The first gig what we ever did was such a failure, such a flop. If I was sitting in the audience, I would have thrown something.
Some tomatoes.
Definitely I would have. It was such a flop, and then we went back to the jam room and like, no,
You
if
need to
we are playing,
practice.
we need to jam well. And yeah, ever since it started off like that. And the challenge was for other musicians to keep up with my track speed. Not really boasting, but
But
I
yeah,
am.
because everybody has their own speed and journey.
Yeah, definitely. So that is not a very good thing to have. I want everybody to be on the same track. That is not a very nice thing to have or nice thing to even say. But then I had a few challenges back then with that band and with other bands that I was associated with. Wherever I went, it was the same kind of progress. And there's this unique timeline that I have for myself.
Mm-hmm.
8 months is my clock.
8 months.
Yeah.
And then you
Yeah.
get,
If nothing is happening in 8 months, then I start getting anxious.
so that's your lower limit. Sorry, up. Yeah,
Yeah, that is the maximum. 8 months.
upper limit. Yeah.
Yeah. It's not lower, it's not higher. Just 8
8
months
months.
dot. 8 months dot. One day not there, one day not here. So 8 months is a timeline that I had personally.
Yeah.
It is very recent that I figured out that 8 months is a cycle for me. But then that was the basic challenge that I had.
Yeah.
But other than that, nothing, to be honest.
That's cool. Very cool. Yeah, since you played so many gigs, I mean, in the past years, and yeah, of course, in many venues and with many people, I'm interested to know which venue is your favorite place to play regarding sound, audience, and also stage.
Tabla Rasa has to be one of them.
Mm-hmm.
And Heart Cup.
What are the things that stood out in these venues that you actually liked? Tabula Rasa and Hard Cup.
Yeah.
Which Hard Cup, if I'm asked?
All of them actually.
All of them. Okay.
Yeah. Gachibowli had its own challenges, but and also Gandipet.
Okay.
Peter knows what I'm talking about.
Yeah, so Peter is he does sound live sound for Kalyan project. Yeah. Shout out
Shouts
to Peter.
Meet the Pete. Yeah. Tabla Rasa in the sense, firstly, the way they treat their artists, really good. Any other venue that you go to, they have respect for artists. I mean, so there's this thing, if you are in a good band, good sounding band, they will treat you in a certain way. If you're not in a very good sounding band, they treat you in a certain way, but that is there. But I feel artists should be treated with good basic minimum respect.
Yeah.
No, because they're coming to your venue, they're playing, of course they're playing for money and exposure also, but then they are there for you, for your crowd, for your venue, to listen to you, your band, basically. So if you're calling us, we are your band for that day at least. So
they are kind of the face of the venue. So
correct.
They have to be taken care
Yeah.
of.
So that is there. Tabla takes good care. Heart Cup also takes really good care. Heart Cup, Kondapur, they have this nice green room.
Mm-hmm.
So whenever we go, we just, after a sound check, we just go and sit in our green room.
Chill
and the staff is also really good and friendly. They come and so there's this waiter, Ravi. He scolds us. He said, Anna, why are you ordering the same thing every time? Wait, I'll tell something else for you.
Yeah, those kind of people are legit good.
And he makes sure that we eat good food every single time we go there. So, and he also asks his chef to cook something different for us. So I go and tell him, I don't know what I want to eat. I think I want something spicy but a little sweet. I said, no, Anna, don't eat that. Eat tangy. Wait, I'll give you.
So those kind of people make a big difference, like individual to individual. Yeah.
So those two venues have to top the list.
Okay.
All the Hard Cups actually, but yeah.
And also musicians. Who are your favorite musicians to play with? If you want to give a shout out to other bands or other musicians who you think they are they're gonna stand out in current years or
Firstly, huge shout outs to, I think I've already given, but then for those of you who didn't listen to Sunny Daniel on drums, you should listen to him. He's a beast.
I agree.
Whatever you throw at him, he will throw it right back at you.
Bounce it back.
Yeah.
And he bounces with good dynamic.
Oh, yeah. So, the way I see or validate musicians is not by how hard piece you can play. It's the finesse that you give. It's the details. Even if you're playing a basic G chord, how good is it sounding? No, not G major 7, not dominant 7, nothing. Just the regular open G chord. If you're playing good, then you are my guy. So Sunny Daniel plays his dynamics, his rudiments are like really good. Very tasteful though.
I agree.
Yeah.
I totally agree.
Yeah. So, and also one thing to take away from his playing is, one is detailing, and the other is he keeps up with the trend. He's been
So he's
in
always exploring new things
yeah,
and trying to
he's been
implement
in
it.
the music for donkey years.
Wow.
Actually, they're probably the first people in the city to start the live music in
The
hardtop.
Kalyan, these musicians, Sunny Daniel.
Sunny Daniel, and he was with other people like Pipe Dreams and was his band. Keith, and with Keith he had a different project going on.
Okay.
Keith and Falag, they had a different project. It's called Chashni. Yes, Chashni. Oh, they were so good to listen
So these
to.
are like the all OGs of the
yeah,
Hyderabad
the
scene.
OGs.
Of the
And
Hyderabad.
I feel lucky to be playing with Sunny Daniel.
Yeah.
And even before I started admiring him as my brother-in-law. By the way, he married my elder sister.
Okay.
So even before that, I kind of knew who he was. He was back in metal scene then. Even though I didn't like metal much, sorry metal fans.
The truth is out.
So I had to say it. So basically, from metal, he played pop to jazz. He plays funk. He plays dance, electronic. He like whatever you say, he'll play that.
Like a versatile drummer.
Yeah, very very versatile. That is what he taught me also, to be very versatile and keeping up with the trend. Those two things, and following, like whatever you do, whatever you play, don't just wing it.
Be very accurate in what you want to explore, what you want to express. Yeah.
Yeah, that is there. He is one, and Joel also, Joel Jeshuran.
Okay.
He's up and coming guitarist, but really good. He played for Indian Idol. So proud of him. Telugu Indian Idol, and he's currently doing another TV show. And who else? Good keyboardist. Ajay is definitely one of them. So whenever we travel together in car. But whenever we travel, we just play songs and we just call out the chords with the extensions.
Like a training,
ear training with the extensions. And I have this garage band on my phone. And he's like major 7th, and I'll be saying, no, it's a dominant 7th. No, it's a 9, minor 9th. He's like, no, major 9th. So all that like detail. So he's my buddy. And who else? Keith, I would definitely love to play with Keith. And actually, I would like to be a part of Pipe Dreams. Pipe Dreams, if you're listening.
Pipe Dreams.
Yeah, Peter played bass
Yeah.
for Pipe Dreams. I want to steal your job. Yeah, so yeah, these are a few bands, and yeah, they're really good.
Nice. Yeah, I think now moving on, I want to move into more technical stuff. So, your current bass, what's your current bass? Ibanez, right?
Yeah, it's an Ibanez. It's due for an upgrade, but I'm loving it. I don't want to upgrade it yet. I'm using Ibanez 305B. It's a 5-string bass.
SR series?
Yeah, SR series. So initially it was launched as a studio bass. And after it became really famous in African market, they released it for the whole catalog.
Okay.
So somehow I got my hands on it. Oh, it sounds so good.
Why
so
did you
punchy.
choose this when there's like, I mean, you may have explored different guitars.
Yeah.
What was your, what do you call, a factor to choose this? What are the factors that you chose?
So basically, I wanted to buy a Fender, but then Sorry, Fender fans. I'm going to hurt a lot
Fender
of
J
people.
or P?
Both.
Okay.
Both. I liked both, but not really in love with both of them. Sorry, Fender fans. So I wanted to get a Marcus Miller, but then somehow it wasn't available, and
Here in the Hyderabad market.
yeah, and I tried to get it, but somehow it didn't happen. Then I tried getting Marcus Miller M2,
Mm-hmm.
but before I finally booked it,
Yeah.
I realized that it's a passive, and I didn't want passive.
Yeah.
I wanted a active bass because I want that bite,
Yeah.
So I play with a lot of dynamics. I don't like to put a lot of compression on it, though a little compression is good. So I like to, play silent. I like to play soft. I want to let it flow, and at the same time, I want to have that bite. So I wanted an active bass, and I was exploring, and I came across this Ibanez 305, and it sounded so good. The mids,
Yeah.
oh god,
I think it definitely does the job of what you want to play.
yeah,
So I've seen you playing, and actually also I've tried this bass, and it's damn good.
yeah,
So I would recommend if somebody's looking out for Ibanez
yeah.
model. Yeah. Yeah, and okay, let's move into your bass practice routines. Or
Mhm.
as a musician, we definitely practice, maybe not so often, but
Mm.
we do practice to perform well. What are your practice routines?
So basically, I started off with, in the beginning,
Mm-hmm.
I started off with just the scales, like how everybody does. But then I started understanding myself more than the bass, that how I want to play or how I want to sound. I In the initial days, I didn't have, like I said, I didn't have any musical references. But when I started as a bass guitarist on the live scene,
Mm-hmm.
that is when I picked up. I wanted to listen to others. I wanted to see what they are doing.
Yeah.
So Larry Graham.
Diagram.
Oh God.
Oh no, oh, he's such an
he
influence in so many
he
bass players.
he didn't let me sleep for over 1 or 2 months. I would listen to him like straight, non-stop, 24/7.
Yeah.
And my mom used to scold, you will go deaf. What are you listening to always? So Larry Graham and James Jameson
James
had a
Jamerson,
huge
yes.
impact.
That thumping
Yeah.
technique he uses,
So
yeah.
and Louis Johnson is another one. That pow and
Yeah.
stomp. And actually, James Jameson also had a huge impact on me. Like in the whenever I started playing, without my knowledge, I started playing like the Motown bassist, like with the single hand. Even if you observe me today, I use a lot of this
Single
index.
fingers, yeah.
Though I try and incorporate all the other fingers also, but then mostly I am very much into that. I like the sound of my this thing, the index finger. Of course, I use the other finger
Yeah,
also,
yeah.
but majority, if you say 100%, 70% I'm using
So you
this.
developed this style around
Yeah.
the Motown thing.
So that and wow, a lot more bass guitarists actually. So all those had a lot of influence on me, and I used to listen to them and try to practice what they sounded like to me. I'm not sure
Try
if
to
that was,
recreate that sound.
yeah, I'm not sure if what I was doing was right, but
Mhm.
then I used to listen and be like, okay, I think this sounded like this note, and I used to find that note. I said, "Duh, where is that? Duh, where is it? Where is it?" I used to like try and pick each and every note, and I did that with my innocence, but somehow that helped me a lot.
Yeah.
And I used to practice just like that. But then growing up in the music scene, I started learning this different scales, and majorly I used to do a lot of timing. Even though I'm playing the same, like
Practice with
the,
different rhythms and
yeah, different rhythms. I used to do a lot of conicals, and that made a huge difference for me.
Okay.
Later on, I just did the regular spider exercises, and I, out of nowhere, when I'm sleeping, I used to listen to. I mean, I get some sound in my head,
Yeah.
like the tan, 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 tan. And I used to get up in the middle of the night and I'm like, where is that dick? Where is that tic tac? What is it? And so that is how
Yeah,
I
these kind
used
of
to.
sudden things
Yeah.
it won't let you sleep until you get it out. Yeah.
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 So that was my practice.
Interesting. And you also, and we were talking, and you told me that you also make your own music.
Mhm.
How has that been in your process? What process has been
So
like?
basically, growing up in the music scene, I realized that I am good with composing also.
Hmm.
And I didn't know that, but and I used to like how I sound or how I make the band sound, how my ideas make the song better. Basically,
Yeah.
it was never about me. It was always about how the band should sound, how the audience will perceive it, how the audience will receive it.
Hmm.
So that was the most entertaining part for me.
Wow.
So
I think I would definitely connect a lot with that
yeah,
as a bass player myself.
yeah,
Definitely.
yeah. I think a lot of bass players have that, but I feel my thing like it pushes me more,
Hmm.
and my band members also more. And I keep sending them random references in the middle of the night, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, and I ask them, just listen to this. I'll tell you something tomorrow. So when we meet for soundcheck, I'll say like, do this. I'll do this.
Giving
You can do that.
ideas,
Yeah,
bouncing back here. There.
yeah. So, and like whatever the music we play for Kalyan project, majority of the structure, I take care of it,
Hmm.
and what chord tones to use, what extensions, and all those.
Hmm.
So basically, I'll take care of the music side, MDing basically.
And I heard
Mm.
from the band that you're
Mhm.
really good at it.
Uh,
So
Thanks,
yeah.
band.
And even from Peter, because Peter is the mix engineer, and he tells me
Yeah.
like, "Oh, this Anna is ruling the band." I mean, he's giving it such a good presence. Yeah, but yeah, your signature sound. You also incorporate other kind of devices in your
Yeah.
signature sound. Let's talk about that.
So basically, I started off with just a normal bass with no pedal, no processor, nothing. And then somebody told me that you need to get a processor. And I was like, why? And they said it'll give you more sound. And they didn't have a good explanation though.
Hmm.
But then I consider it, and I considered it, and I was like, okay, what kind of processor will go with my bass? And I didn't want to invest a lot of money into it because analog setups were costing a bomb. I started off with a Behringer. I started off with a basic EQ pedal, and I used to carry my small DI with myself because back in those days, people didn't have DIs for bass,
Yeah.
and that was the least of the instruments to
So you used to carry
consider.
your own thing.
So I used to carry my own thing, a little EQ, a little chorus pedal, and a different sorts of thing. Then I started off building it, and then I grew a ear to, like I said, Larry Graham. So how he sounded, especially Hair, how he sounded in that, I want, if it was remastered and
Hmm.
recreated, I want to sound like that.
Hmm.
And then I want, growing up, I listened to Justin Rains.
Hmm. Justin
Oh,
Rees, wow.
he is
He's
a one mad
oh yeah.
dude. I'm like,
Totally, totally.
"Hey, what are you doing?
Yeah.
What is that? That's a
Yeah.
bass. Have some respect."
Yeah.
So
Justin Rees, epic
just
guy.
yeah. Actually, I had like growing up, I had a lot of influences. Yeah. Okay, I'll not do makeup. I didn't. Yeah. So anyway, um, yeah, Justin Rains, Travis D,
Hmm.
and Micah Muffet, and there's another called Mike Zuniga,
Hmm.
And all this combined together, I understood that if you want to sound good, you need to have that extra bite. So that is when I realized, okay, yeah, I want to sound good. And of course, like anybody, I want to sound good, and this is what I need. And even in my playing, I try to incorporate it. And Bilician, oh my god, that guy is another beast.
Yes.
So most of them know him from Mr. Big,
Yeah.
but I will say, listen to Winery Dogs.
Yeah.
That is a mad, mad, mad project. Like the band that anybody should listen to. It has so much to learn from it. It's just a three-piece band. Billy Sheehan and Mike Portnoy was on drums, and that was the first ever time that he stepped out of Dream Theater and got into this one, uh, Winery Dogs. And Richard was on the guitars and vocals. Also, like all of them were singing also.
Yeah.
But the three-piece band sounded like like a 7-8 piece band. And of course, with Billy Sheehan's that grungy and
growl,
having the same low end, maintaining that made a huge difference. And I was like, okay, can I get that sound? But somehow I wasn't achieving that sound. It was something like a distorted thing, and I didn't really enjoy that. Like no distortion on bass. And also a lot of people like to have a little distortion on bass just to have that bite, but I hate it.
I mean, it's also maybe I could say very genre specific.
Yeah.
Because like the sound you want, the sound you create. Because like let's say you are a bass player in a jazz field, you would have a totally different thing. So depends on what you want to play, what you want to sound like. So yeah, definitely.
That is the influence, or that is the sound of approach that I wanted to have, and I wanted to have my own signature sound. So then hence this bass with a good bite in it. Then I started off with after that I removed everything. I shifted with Zoom. Yeah, Zoom B1X4. For those who want to,
I still have it,
Yeah.
I still have it.
That is such a good piece.
It's for a starter's kit, or like just to have something. It works. It does the job.
Yeah, it does. And they have some good cabinets. They have some good pedals on it. Good chain that you can make. And
I mean, many people diss about it. On it, but still as a technologist, music technologist, I would say every piece of tool that comes out is it gives you a direction of what's going to come next. So it was one.
There were a lot of people who came up to me and asked, like, you're sounding so good. What is that? What are you using? I said Zoom. They were like, oh, Zoom? What? Are you even serious?
Yeah.
And they were.
It was a B1X1?
Yeah, B1X4.
X4, okay.
With the volume pedal, expression pedal, basically.
Yeah.
So I wanted that nice mid-range, that with the low end consistent. Then I started exploring with a lot of sounds, and I have a synth patch on it. I have a dubstep patch on it, and whoever listened to that patch, that dubstep patch, they were all firstly they were like, "What?" that was the reaction that I got from a lot of good bases from the city, out of the city, from different parts of country. Yeah, I'm not sure if I can take names. Saurabh, Sumant also.
Okay.
Like, wow, that sounded really good. Yeah. That and then I moved on to recently I upgraded it to a Line 6 HX Stomp XL with an additional expression pedal.
That's a huge upgrade, not just a small upgrade from Zoom to Line 6.
Yeah. I wanted to get another Zoom, but then I was like, maybe I am done with it. I want to try and explore. And surprisingly, I like this because I'm a huge, like those who know me, I don't like multi-instrumental processors. Like you can play it for guitar and bass. I don't like those processors. I hate it. Also, before Line 6, any such processors had this certain distortion to it, certain thinness to the sound,
Mm.
and I didn't like that for bass. So, but this one is sounds so good, so thick, and it sounds like so mean.
That's
Yeah,
a good word to use. Yeah.
yeah. It sounds really. It sounds so mean,
Yeah.
and it is very consistent in all the frequencies. And if any sound engineer is listening to it, I'm sorry for the trouble because I'm very particular with frequencies. I'm like, I want my certain frequencies to
Yeah.
be boosted. I don't want to reveal those frequencies.
So that's the signature. That's
Yeah,
the John Bodapati
yeah,
signature.
that's my sauce.
Maybe only Peter knows, but it's
Yeah. No, actually, for Peter, surprisingly, I never told him what I wanted. Maybe
Oh, okay.
one or two times I suggested. I didn't tell him that I wanted this. I said, listen to it. If you think something can be added, do this for me. I usually like that frequency.
I think those kind of sound guys are really to be appreciated,
Yeah.
who listen and then give a positive way to make things. Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely, Peter.
Yeah. Yeah. Peter and Rajshekhar was also huge shout outs to Rajshekhar. Rajshekhar, whoa, that guy also makes the band sound so nice, warm. Thiru is another guy, and Pratik also makes us sound good. He had his journey with us, and once he figured out what our band was bad, because he is a metal boy and he wants to mix a band like that.
Okay.
But once he understood what we want and how we want to sound as a band,
Yeah.
more than a band, I used to give him a lot of pain. I used to tell him, no, do this, do that, do this. And he also used to do it very patiently.
Okay.
He, not like other sound engineers, like without doing anything, they'll just touch the thing. Over. He used to actually do it. So that, yeah, these are some of the sound engineers. But coming back to signature sound, that. So I like to explore a lot of sounds. Synth is one, and tight power, crunch is one thing, and I also have a synth bass that I use.
Okay.
Yeah,
Bass station.
Yeah, Bass Station 2 by Innovation. That piece of gear is really good. It gave me such a hard time in the beginning because if you like, those who have it might know, if you want to design a patch, you need to know sound designing.
Yeah.
And actually, there are a lot of built-in, like 60 or 50 built-in patches, but then what I or the band wanted to sound like wasn't there in it. And I had to learn the sound design, so that is a huge up for me. That's a plus point for me.
Yeah, because actually I was going to ask you what are the sound explorations you're going to, but you already have covered it.
Yeah.
So, but are there any explorations you're doing currently that you want to share?
Explorations as in whatever I wanted, I was doing with my Zoom processor with the dubstep patch on the synth growl.
Yeah.
I want to explore that with my current processor.
Okay.
Because that was like nobody ever was doing that. Like, wow, wow. I was doing that with the bass.
Wow. Those kind of sounds definitely make a big change in the output.
Yeah. And the band also sounded so massive. With that, I wanted to explore this. And there, I should say, I'm not really 100% there at the tone that I want because it's a journey.
Yes.
Today I will like this. Maybe 2 months later, I will not like it that much. I would like to, add a little something. So, yeah, a little more exploration on the tone wise. I would do that.
Thank you so much. And before we ended, any advice for young learners as musicians and bass players?
I would say, like, this is for any bass player, guitarist, or anybody, musician basically. Be a musician first and then learn the instrument, because that different approach will, be a huge, impact. I mean, it'll have a huge impact on the way you play with others, and even if you're going to be a solo artist, the way you approach music will be completely different. Be a musician first, be very disciplined, and yeah, practice.
Practice. Practice is very important.
Yeah.
And top three songs, currently
Oh.
or all time?
Currently, there's this Telugu song that I've been vibing to. Naro Januve. It's a very simple bass line, but
Who's the composer?
composer. Good question. I think
We can check it out later.
Hamid Amush. He's a new guy, at
Okay.
least for me, and he actually sang that song also. Mm. And
Number
another song, Millionaire by Torren Wells.
Torren Wells, yes.
Yeah, that is also a very nice groovy song. Another one, my all-time favorite, Hair.
Hair.
Hair by Larry
Larry Graham.
Graham. That is
Perfect.
my all-time.
Hisham Abdul Wahab.
Yeah, Hisham Abdul Waham.
Shiva Nirvana, it seems.
Yeah,
There we have it.
yeah.
Thanks a lot for joining us, John.
Thank you for having me, and huge shout outs to Lindsay and Jam Cabana Cabin. Cabana Cabin.
Cabana Jam Cabin.
Cabana Jam Cabin.
Yes.
CJC.
Yeah, CJC.
Thank you.
Thank you for having me.